In the galactic archives, Earth was listed as a failed world, a burnt-out husk after one final war. For millions of years, no signal, no movement, not even a whisper came from its system. Species rose and fell, empires clashed and vanished. Humanity? Forgotten. Extinct. Until the year 870,000 AD. A massive signal pulsed from Sol. A structure moved in the Oort cloud. And then, a single word echoed across the stars. Awakening. What emerged from Earth's silence was not what the galaxy expected. It was something they feared they had buried. This is the moment everything changed. Stay till the end. And if you enjoy stories where humanity stuns the stars, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. They called it the Grave World. Sol 3. Earth. Long dead. Long irrelevant. The Galactic Consortium, now 200,000 years old, had built entire civilizations around the principle that Earth was gone. The last survey, conducted by an Andelian probe 400,000 years prior, had shown a world stripped by fire, poisoned atmosphere, and radiation storms still raging in pockets. There had been no signals, no active satellites, no detectable power grids. And so, Earth was marked, extinct civilization, human variant. A cautionary tale, a tomb. But the galaxy was wrong. Inside a structure buried beneath what used to be Antarctica, in a chamber colder than deep space, and surrounded by alloy the consortium had never encountered, lights blinked for the first time in 800,000 years. Biological storage pods hissed. Systems initialized. DNA restructured. And the minds within awoke. One word left the planet. Awakening. The pulse rippled through the ancient relay network humanity had once seeded in secret before their great sleep. It activated protocols buried in time. A satellite on Pluto's remains spun to life. An array hidden in the asteroid belt realigned. And in the Oort cloud, the Sentinel stirred. It was a ship, if it could still be called that. More a structure, city-sized and dormant, like a watchtower for a race that refused to die. The galaxy saw it activate and panicked. The first to respond were the Veltai. Advanced, arrogant, and wholly unprepared. Admiral Ktharn's fleet of 17 vessels surrounded the Sentinel, broadcasting in all known languages. Unidentified construct. This sector is protected under galactic law. Power down and prepare for inspection. The Sentinel said nothing. Then, without moving, it fired. A ripple of gravity twisted space, snapping 2 Veltai capital ships in half like twigs. The others tried to flee. Only 3 made it. A second signal followed. We are human. We have returned. The consortium convened in crisis for the first time in 32,000 years. The name human hadn't been spoken in generations. The records were vague, riddled with contradiction. Some said humans destroyed themselves. Others hinted they had gone to war with machines and lost. One theory, the craziest, claimed humans had found immortality and went to sleep by choice, waiting for the stars to forget. Now it looked like the last one might have been true, but it was the speed that scared them. Within 4 solar rotations, Earth had re-established communication with 24 derelict satellites across the galaxy. They activated long-dormant stations in dark systems, relics from an age no one knew existed. On planet Viral, 9, an archaeological dig exploded in a flare of light as a buried device activated and sent data directly to Earth. Humanity wasn't returning. Humanity had planned to return, and now it had. Inside Earth's new command citadel, deep beneath the melted crust, stood Commander Elin Varric, the first human reawakened. Her eyes scanned the holo-display showing known galactic borders, now drawn by species she didn't recognize. But they were all wrong. This is our map, she said, tapping the panel. Pre-fall borders. Corrected. We had claim to these sectors. We're not asking for permission. Her second, Commander Trask, a man grown in under 48 hours and injected with centuries of military history, frowned. Are we initiating contact or reclamation? Varric's lips curled into a ghost of a smile. We'll ask, she said. Once. The first diplomatic vessel reached consortium space a week later. It wasn't sleek or golden or adorned like the ships of modern species. It was ugly, angular, armed. The humans called it the Vigilant Star. The ambassador who walked out wore no robes or decorative insignia. Just simple black armor with a faint blue glow and the insignia of the United Earth Defense Fleet. I am Ambassador Ryan Holt. Earth lives. Humanity returns. Prepare. That was all he said. Then, he handed the shocked receiving party a crystalline data core. Inside it, the full archive of human history, from fire to cryogenic stasis. A timeline of wars, philosophies, art, pain, and triumph. Most importantly, it outlined the reason for their disappearance, the sleep directive. Earth had won every war it faced, but it feared what it might become. So they chose to vanish, to evolve in silence, to let the galaxy breathe. Now, humanity deemed the time right to rejoin the stars, but not as equals, as the apex. Within 2 months, 300 human ships, each one different in design, like artifacts from science fiction, spread across the stars. Not to conquer, not yet, but to observe. And what they found disappointed them. Slavery still existed. Planets were still strip-mined. The consortium had stagnated, ruled by bureaucrats fat on peace, with no real understanding of the horrors buried under time. Commander Varric stood on the bridge of the Resolute Dawn, orbiting a colony planet where children were used as work drones by insectoid overlords. Send a warning, she said. Her weapons officer blinked. Just a warning? Just one. A single rod of hyper-compressed tungsten fell from orbit at near light speed. It hit the slaver compound. Nothing remained, not even glass. The message? Humanity was watching. And when it stood for those no one else did. The galaxy began to fracture. Some species cheered. Some begged for alliance. Others, like the Broctor, declared war. They sent a fleet of 120 warships toward Earth. Only 13 made it close enough to fire. None escaped. Saturn's rings flickered with kinetic barriers. Neptune's moons became launch stations. Even the sun seemed wrong. The Broctor fleet vanished into light, and magnetic storms never explained. On every consortium channel, a message appeared again. Earth is awake. And below it, let those who sow cruelty reap extinction. What terrified the galaxy most wasn't the firepower. It was the discipline. Humans didn't rage. They didn't boast. They simply acted. Decisively. Coldly. As if they had already calculated every outcome. Because they had. Humanity had once been emotional, chaotic, volatile. But during their long sleep, they evolved. Their minds were enhanced. Their memories long. Their goals unified. They no longer sought dominance. They expected it. Consortium leaders met in panic. What do they want? Croaked Chancellor Thurk of the Zalaxy. Ambassador Holt answered in a transmission played across all species networks. We want what was always ours. Not territory. Not tribute. Justice. Truth. Order. You had your chance to lead. Now, the Wardens return. What if we resist? Asked a voice. The ambassador's expression never changed. Then you become part of the next archive. A cautionary tale. On the 870,000th year since the dawn of man, Earth rejoined the galactic stage. But not as a memory, not as a myth, as a force. Unstoppable, unforgiving, unbound. Humanity had slept long enough. Now it would build again. And this time, the stars would kneel.